Hi, I am Megan. Welcome to your first lesson in Introduction to Nosework. Nosework is a super fun activity to do with your dog. It is great enrichment, and if you have interest in also training scent detection, this is a wonderful foundation to get you going. So my sport detection dogs, they do scent detection for recreation, and this is how they started, and this is how I start all my student dogs in recreational scent detection or sport detection. But even if you never decide to do scent detection with your dog, Nosework is a super fun game. So Nosework is great enrichment. It's fun for any dog. What we're going to be doing is hiding food for your dog to find. So you're going to be teaching your dogs in this lesson that containers are really exciting and containers are worth checking and containers are fun. So this lesson is really just containers, containers, containers. I love containers. So we've got a lot of different kinds of containers you can use. There's no actual requirement. I would go something at least this big. This is maybe about the size of a sandwich container. This is probably the smallest I would go for your container, though it could definitely be more shallow. That's totally fine. Your containers might be made out of plastic, like these ones, or your containers might be cardboard, like these ones. If you would like to use cardboard flats, I usually just go to Costco and pick up some flats, and then when they get kind of greasy and grungy and gross, I recycle those and I go and get more. You can also, if you're getting deliveries or things in boxes, you can use regular old boxes. You can either cut off your flaps of cardboard boxes, or you can tuck the flaps to the inside of the box, just so they are out of the way. You don't have to worry about your dog putting their head inside the box to eat a treat and having flaps get caught on their collar or ears or head and give them any kind of startle. What's important with your containers is just that they are shallow enough that if you have a smaller size dog, they can put their head in here and self-reward. So we want them to be able to stick their head in the container and eat the treat. So for medium and large size dogs, this would be totally fine. But if I had a small dog, even this depth for maybe a dachshund could be a little bit too high, and they wouldn't be able to get their head over the rim to eat the treat. So with a small breed dog, I might stick to something quite shallow like this. So we are going to get our containers. You're going to want at least 6 and maybe up to about 12 to start, depending on the size of your space. Once you have your containers, then you need somewhere to put your containers. So you're gonna look for a big open space. Perhaps move the table out of your living room, just so you can place 6 of your containers in that area and have at least 2 to 3 feet between all of your containers. Next to your search area, you need to have somewhere for your dog to relax between their searches. So in classes, we usually have the dogs waiting in their vehicle between their searches. So they are left in their car, they come in and do a search, and then they go back to their car, and then the next dog comes in and has their turn. At home, your dog still needs to take lots of breaks between their searches, so you also want to make sure they are somewhere out of eyesight from the search area when you are hiding things. So a covered crate near your search area can work, a bathroom, bedroom, something like that, a hallway that you have gated off, whatever works to just separate your dog both spatially and visually from your search area, and for them to be able to feel relaxed between their searches. So do make sure that that waiting place for your dog is somewhere that your dog feels comfortable and safe to relax between their searches. Once you have your containers, you have your open space to put your containers, and you have somewhere for your dog to relax and take breaks, then the last thing you're gonna need is something to hide, which we will be using food. So you're gonna grab some yummy, bite-sized pieces for your dog to be able to hide in the containers. The yummier the treats, the more fun and exciting your dog is going to think this game is. So I really highly recommend using something like cheese, or cooking up some chicken and cutting that up into little pieces. I have students that often will use hot dogs sliced up, whatever is super fun and exciting for your dogs. Moist treats are usually better than like really hard, crunchy treats. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of treats, a bunch of containers, a big open space, and somewhere for your dog to relax. And if you have all those things, then you're ready to move on to part 1 of your Introduction to Nosework lesson. One of the things I want to talk about is taking breaks between searches. So we're going to be doing some back-to-back searches where the dog might come in 2, 3, or even 4 times before they're put away to relax. But it's really important that your dog is only coming in and searching for 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes absolute maximum before you put them away to relax and decompress. Sniffing is a lot of work, and if your dog is using their nose to search these boxes, they are going to get tired real quick. So you want to make sure they get lots of breaks every 5 minutes maximum to relax and decompress. But those breaks are important for another reason as well. Your dogs are going to be able to relax and reflect on the search they just did, and they're going to do some learning while they process what it is that just happened in the last go of searches. So go ahead and make sure your dog has that relaxing area. Make sure that your dog is getting lots of breaks, and you could do a 3, 4, maybe 5 minute search and then do it again later in the day. Or you can just put your dog in their separate relaxation area, their break area, and let them hang out there for 5 or 10 minutes before they come in and you play more nosework searching for another 3 to 5 minutes. Part 1. We have our 6 boxes, and we are going to take 6 treats, and we are going to put a treat in every single one of these boxes. Then we are going to let our dog into the search area, remembering that it's a nice, boring area. There's not anything very exciting, except when they come to the containers, they are going to find a yummy piece of food. This should make them want to check another container where they're going to find another piece of yummy food, which should hopefully make them want to check another container where they'll find another yummy piece of food, and they will continue. Now, they may go back to a box that they've already been to and realize, oh no, this is empty. And that's part of the learning process of them figuring out, oh wait, I've already been there, I need to keep going. When you bring your dog into the search area, you are going to resist the temptation to say anything or do anything to lead your dog. We want them to figure this game out on their own. It's part of what builds their independence and their confidence to search. In Nosework, the dog is the team leader. If you've done other kind of training with your dog, you might be used to being the one in charge and being the team leader. But in Nosework, your dog is the team leader, and right now you need them to understand that they get to lead. So we're not telling them anything, we're not pointing at the boxes, we're not doing anything. We're just putting out our 6 treats in our 6 containers, and then we're letting our dog come in and figure it out for themselves. If they get distracted, just wait patiently until they come back. And if they're really distracted, they're really checking out, they're really checked in with you, you can just tell them they're finished, you can put them away, put your 6 treats back in the 6 boxes so they all have food again, and then bring them back in to try again. Don't worry about your dog missing 1 or 2 treats at the beginning. They don't have to find everything to start. They just need to have success and have fun coming in, seeing the boxes and checking them. Every time they come back and find more treats in boxes, they're learning that these containers are important, and that is the whole point of this lesson right now. Clearly, it's less about searching at this point, and it's just about building value for these containers. So 3 or 4 searches back to back, 1 treat in every single one of these 6 boxes, letting your dog search, not giving them any guidance, have fun with it, see how it goes. And I'm gonna share with you some video from some of my classes of dogs doing this exercise. Whenever you're ready. So because there's not really much else going on in here, it makes the boxes already a little bit more important. I believe that was the last one. So you can tell him he's finished. You're done. All done. And then call him back to you. And it's usually a good idea to have a treat when you grab them. So now with nervous dogs, sometimes if they're nervous, when we start trying to close the gate, and they're like, I don't want to get trapped in here, we'll leave it open. Okay. So if he doesn't like you closing the gate.
Well, here you go.
And he's like, I got this.
Yeah. Good job.
All right, whenever you're ready, just let him go. No cues. He says, I remember that lady. So he's checking out the environment as well, and that's fine. That's part of how he learns what's important, is by learning also what is not important. So he checked out the environment, nothing really exciting happened, and then he went to the boxes and he got some treats. So we'll finish there. Okay, so you've done part 1. Your dog is coming in, and when you have 6 boxes with 6 treats, they're coming in, they are enthusiastically eating all 6 of those boxes. They're not getting distracted, they're not pausing, they're just going from box to box to box and eating. They think this is pretty great. So it's time to start adding just a little bit of searching in there for them. So instead of putting 6 treats in your 6 boxes, you're gonna put out 4 treats. So out of your 6 boxes, 4 of them will have treats and 2 of them are gonna be empty. This is part number 2, and we are going to do 3 or 4 searches like this until your dog is still coming in, enthusiastically checking the boxes, enthusiastically playing this game, not getting distracted, not checking out, not checking in with you, just excited to come in and eat treats out of the containers. When we have that, we can move on to part number 3. So he sniffs the empty box, checks in with his human, goes, oh wait, was this not the game? And he's like, oh, okay, no, that one had food. And he's like, well, that one doesn't. And so now he's like, oh, maybe this isn't the game. So he's just, again, this is the puzzle. What am I supposed to do here? He's like, maybe I'll sniff this person, because a couple of those boxes didn't pay. So this, tells me that I definitely don't want to put less treats down. The more time they spend focused on the boxes and being rewarded, the better. But eventually, this is what we'll see. They'll go back to the boxes. Of course, he went back and sniffed one and it was empty. Checking in with his human, going, oh, well, you've got cookies. So just careful to not touch your treat pouch too much. He's going back to the boxes. It's like empty one, empty one. Why are these all empty? This is lame. And then jackpot. Awesome. He's all done. Good job. So there's only 4 treats this time. So he'll hit a couple more empty boxes. I made my way down to see where the last one still was. I'm very good at losing track of where the hides are and which ones they've eaten. So he's doing a good job still focusing on those boxes. He does have a very big blind spot for this first one. This has consistently been the one that he hasn't really searched. He keeps going back, so that's good. He's understanding that yes, the boxes are important and they are worth double checking. Yeah, there we go! Yay, buddy, all done! You're done! Come see you now!
Go, man, puppy dog.
He is using his nose already, which is lovely to see. He's done. All done! So now he's gonna go back to the car. We're gonna throw a big party and give him lots of treats. Okay, so part 3. We've got more containers out. This is gonna depend on the size of your space, but you can go to maybe 10 boxes from your 6 as long as your dog has been enthusiastic about searching. If your dog is not quite there yet, keep doing just your 6 boxes with your 4 treats. You can do that however many sessions you need to until your dog is really focused and really having fun. So part 3, we've got more containers out, and we're gonna hide treats in about half of them. So if I've got 10 boxes out, I'm gonna put 5 treats down. So my dog is going to have a 50-50 chance, potentially, of hitting a treat or hitting an empty container. Now we're starting to get into some searching, right? There's no longer just every box has a container. The dogs actually have to do some searching. And every time they eat a treat, there's more empty boxes and less boxes with hides. So if we have 5 treats and your dog has eaten 4 of those treats, there's now still 10 boxes, but there's only 1 hidden treat. So they have to work through 9 empty boxes to find that 1 treat. So we're building a little bit of stamina in your dogs. We're building a little bit of determination in them so that they'll search for longer and that they'll build confidence that it's worth sticking to searching, even if this is empty and this is empty and this is empty. If I keep going, I will get a payoff. So we're starting to teach your dogs that it's fun to search. At this point, they're probably starting to use their nose if they weren't using their nose already. Some of the dogs start using their nose right away, and some of the dogs take a little bit of time before they switch from kind of looking in the boxes to using more their nose. All of your dogs are always using their noses all of the time, But early on in this training, some of the dogs are going to be relying a little bit more on visual as well as their nose than some of the other dogs that will be mostly using their nose. So about half of the boxes have treats. You're going to, again, do this maybe 2 or 3 times. At this point, it's going to take them a little bit longer in the search area, so you're probably not going to do 4 back-to-back, 2 or 3 back-to-back. Again, we're aiming for the dogs to search for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes and then get a longer break before they come back, and then you can repeat the exercise. So this is our goal, get our dogs working a bigger area and solving this problem of working through some boxes do have food, but not all of them. So they're starting to get into searching. Are you ready? So next week, we're going to start talking about the ways we see different changes of behavior, what it looks like when the dog is searching versus when they're distracted, or when they know that there's something around there. He is very much saying there's something around here right now. There's kind of 2 modes in their searching. There's their general searching, where they come in and they go, okay, I'm going to come in here and search. I'm coming into the room, gonna try to find some cheese. And then there's the second part of the searching. I think he's done. The second part of the searching is they're wandering around the room and they go, oh, the cheese is here somewhere. So the first part is general searching. Cheese in the room, gonna find the cheese in the room. Second part is what we call sourcing. The cheese is here. Where is the cheese? I know there's cheese here, but where exactly is it? And those are kind of the 2 different phases, as it were, of their searching. The general search, gonna find some cheese, gonna find some cheese. Oh, there's cheese here. And then they switch to sourcing. And when they're new, I always try to put treats in the first 1 or 2 boxes that they'll hit as soon as they come in, so that they don't come in right away and hit an empty box and go, oh, it's an empty box. Is this still the same game? We want them to come in right away, and one of the first boxes they hit has food in it, and they go, oh, okay, it's this game, we're playing this game. So really nice, good job. I think that was his last one.
There's one more in here.
Okay.
Good boy! Good job! Yeah, come this way. Come this way. You're finished. I'm finished. Come see your mom. Come.
He's so funny the way he puts his paws inside all the boxes. I think he's done. We'll let him have one last little lap here.
The same box. Yes.
Oh, that's it. Is that a box? It's a tough box. Yes, I purposely have put hides in all 4 of the corners because dogs often cut corners. And so we want to teach them that corners are actually great places to check. And so the more we place hides in corners, the more they're reinforced for checking corners.
Good man! Good dog!
But you can see already he's got value for this game, value for the boxes. He's happily hunting. And again, some dogs in the first class, they are using their eyes as much as their nose. They're always using their nose. Nose is their olfactory, is their primary sense. So we absolutely are always gonna have some. It's just that one in the corner, I believe. He's doing a lovely job working independently. He doesn't feel like he needs to check in with his human. He's like, I got this. Awesome, all done.
Yeah, don't talk to you. Let's go.
And this time, that's it. He's gonna go right back to the car.